This video is sponsored by One Mother Care. Great stuff for great kids.
My name is Novella Smith, or Mrs. Bampo. I'm a mother to a beautiful baby girl. She's turning 4 in December. Yeah, I'm a procurement specialist, but I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into bakery. So I got married in December 2015, and then before that, I've always had irregular menstrual cycle. So I thought it was one of those things. When it doesn't come, I don't really care. I was having fun, so I don't really care. And so January, it didn't come. I wasn't bothered. But middle January, I had a medical condition. I had thyroid. I was I went to the hospital. I was told I had thyroid, so I had to take a medication. So whilst I was on the medication, I think the second week in March, I started feeling sick. Not really sick, and I'm not a morning eater, but that morning, like from that time, any morning when I'm going to the office, I'll buy wache. There's this wache at American House. I really wanted the pepper, so I'll go and buy it, take it to the office and eat. And then in the afternoon, there was this banku in tilapia. I didn't really want the banku. I wanted the pepper and the tilapia, so I'll go and buy it and eat it. And then I felt sleepy almost throughout the day. So there was this guy in my office who was telling me, "Have you swallowed a human being?" And I didn't really get what he was saying. So I was like, okay. So when I came home, I told my husband, like after 3 days, I came home and I told my husband, "I feel sick. I feel there's something wrong." And he was like, okay, let's check and see. We bought 2 test strips. The first one, we checked and nothing showed. So he was like, okay, let's check in 2 weeks' time again. And then in 2 weeks' time, he came from work in the evening, and then we checked and it was double lines. And after that, I think it was a weekend. So Monday, I went to the hospital. I had called my doctor friend who was in our church, and she was like, oh, I should come to her hospital, which was closer to us. So I went there and she said I should do a scan. I did a scan, and then they said no fetal heartbeat. They could see a sac, but no fetal heartbeat. So I should go and come back in a month time. And then I went a month time, I came, and then yes, it was in. So I told him, and then for me, I was really happy, like kind of happy, kind of sad, because I wasn't really expecting to be pregnant at that time. And for him, he was happy. He told me it's a mixed feelings too, but yeah, that was how we got to know we were pregnant. Throughout pregnancy, okay, so from the first day I tested and I found out I was pregnant, the next morning I was really, really sick. I felt really, really sick. It's like the pregnancy symptoms started from that day. So that day I couldn't go to work. The next day I couldn't go to work. I felt so sick. I couldn't eat anything. I was just throwing up, and then it was like I was sick throughout. And then because of the thyroid, I had to do a lot of TFTs, thyroid functioning tests, to know if my baby will be safe, if I have to. And then the other thing was that I didn't really enjoy anything about pregnancy. No, I didn't really enjoy anything because I was sick throughout. I would go to the hospital every 3 days and tell them they should admit me because I'm tired. I can't eat anything. The only thing I was eating was watermelon, and that one, it has to be ice chilled watermelon. I couldn't take anything. Anything couldn't stay in my body. And then the other thing was spit. Like I could spit. I actually spat throughout the whole 9 months, and after the baby was born, I think 3 months after the baby was born, then that I stopped spitting, and I vomited throughout. Like I had nausea throughout the pregnancy. So I didn't really enjoy pregnancy, like how people will dress up and then go out and eat. No, most of the time I was home in the hospital. And then if I would enjoy pregnancy, I would say is my color. My skin became so beautiful. I enjoyed that one. I'm not the one that wants a lot of attention, so I saw when you give me attention, I see it as normal. When I go to I expect you to, as a human being, you should you should give attention to a pregnant woman. So when you give me attention, I see it as normal. So it wasn't something that I really enjoyed. It's normal. When I come to the bank, I expect you to give me way to exactly. And then the other thing is that I didn't really have cravings. The only thing I craved for was makeup powder. Yes. I never ate it. I was craving for makeup powder. So what I do is that, or talcum powder. So what I do is that, because I can't eat it, I'd rather put it on my face so that I will feel the smell, or I'll put it in my hand and be smelling, but to eat it, yeah, I didn't really crave for anything. And then along the line, the watermelon stopped. I couldn't take, I used to like kenke and pepper. But what I realized is that when I take kenke and pepper, I'll vomit. But when I take banku and pepper, I won't vomit. I used to like this house akoko, but I couldn't eat it anymore. Anything peppery, I would have heartburns, and when I eat, it's like my body is tearing apart. I feel so weak, so I was always lying down when I'm eating. Yeah, I think that is it. So the day of delivery, I'm one person that really, I was a Google mom. I was reading everything. Because I had the thyroid, I was always reading. I wanted to know what will happen at any point in time. And I had this book that was gifted to me by a family friend that says what to expect when expecting. So I read. So the day it was, I did my exams on the Friday. That was 23rd December. That was my final day. And then my due date, they gave me between 17th and 23rd. So 22nd, I went to the hospital for my checkup, and I told the doctor the 17th had passed. And 23rd is tomorrow, that is Friday, but I have an exams. So what I'll do is, when I'm done with the exams, I'll come and induce me. And he said, no, after your due date, you are given 2 weeks. So when the 2 weeks pass and there's nothing, then we know what to do. So I said, okay. And I went home. Friday, I went to write my exams. Saturday, I slept because I was tired. I was going through, the whole of pregnancy, I was going through school. I was doing a top-up at campus, so I was going through school. So the Saturday, I slept. But the Sunday, and she used to kick a lot. I know 7 a.m. she starts kicking. She'll kick till like 8:30, 9, then she'll stop. And then 7 p.m. But that Saturday, I was sleeping, so I didn't even realize she wasn't really kicking well. But the Sunday, that was 25th December, we went to church. And another thing too is that when you go to church and they were singing, she would kick. When you start preaching, she'd be quiet. But that day, I didn't hear anything. So I told a doctor friend in my church, the one I'm talking about, and I used to attend antenatal at a hospital. So I told her that, listen, I can't feel her kick. And she said, okay, I should wait till the following morning. If I still don't hear her, I should call her on the phone. So I said, okay. So I called her the following morning. That was the 26th December. My husband went to the farm. He has a farm, so he went to the farm. And he told me, call her and then find out. And then if anything, call me. I said, okay. So I called her and then she said, okay, let me call the Ghanaian and get back to you. So I was there and she called and she was like, the Ghanaian said, come to the hospital if you can. I said, okay. And my husband, I called my husband. He wasn't around, so he called my mom to come and escort me to the hospital. So when my mom came, I bathed her and I didn't take anything. I was just going to the hospital. So when I got there, the Ghanaian had already called the nurses, the midwives, that I'm coming. So when I get there, they should do a checkup or something. So I went there. When I got there, they told me to lie on a bed. They put a machine on me and they told me they are coming to listen to the baby's heartbeat. So I said, okay. So I could hear the noise. It was like, it goes up and it comes down. It goes up and it comes down. Then I asked, what is happening? And she said, oh, she's coming. So my mom was like, and I said, okay. So they went out and I heard her telling the gynae, my baby's breath is no good at all. So I don't know what the doctor told her. And then she came back and she told me, The doctor said he's coming, but he's saying that I would have to do a CS. They would have to take the baby out right now because it's like her breath is not good. I was like, no, I won't do CS. I won't do it because, and I was angry. I was angry initially because I had come and I had told you, induce me, and you were like, no, you're giving me 2 weeks, and now look at what has happened. So I was like, no, I won't do it. And my mom was like, no, you can't say you won't do it. And I was like, you can't decide for me. Let me decide myself. Let me call my husband. And then I was calling, he wasn't picking. So the nurses were like, what are you waiting for? You have to hurry up. Oh. And my mom was like, Bibi was a sign. Mama sign. I'm starting. Me cover the near maba. So I called a pastor friend and we prayed. And I told my mom, I showed my mom where my things are. And then she went and then they prepped me. They passed the catheter and everything. So whilst they were doing that, I think my mom had called my husband and then he was there. So they took me to the theater. And then when at the theater, I think when they injected me, I felt very sleepy. I wanted to sleep. And my husband was like, don't sleep. And then the other guy the one who gave me the shot was like, don't sleep. They were trying to chat me about the way I was feeling very tired, and I had to open my arms on, they gave me some wooden thing to put my hands on. I felt the pain here, so I was telling them, stop talking to me, I just want to sleep. And they were like, no, you can't sleep. So after like 30 minutes, no, before that, the doctor came and told me I shouldn't worry. Don't I want to see my baby today? Today is the 26th December, and it would be nice if I have my baby today. It's a blessing from God. So I was like, okay, I was quiet. I was like, okay, I don't mind. So after 30 minutes, I felt them shaking. I didn't feel the pain, but I felt them opening up my tummy. And then I heard my husband saying, it's a girl. And I said, okay. I don't care. Like I wanted to sleep. I was so tired. I wanted to sleep. So I saw them passing with her, and then she had this white substance all around. So I asked them, what? I asked my husband, then I want a white son. And then he said, oh, they are going to bath her. So I said, okay. I think that was all I remembered. And I heard her crying, but at that time I had gone cry, so I didn't hear anything again until. That was like 3:15 in the afternoon. So until 10 in the evening. And then I heard the nurses saying, sorry, no man enough for. So I woke up and I saw she was on me. They were trying to put her on my nipple. Honestly, it was like I was still in sleep. So I didn't really know what was going on until I was moved to the ward. And then in the ward, they told me I'm going to sleep there alone with her. My mom will have to go home. My mom will have to go home. And then I would have to take care of the baby myself. So I should gather courage to get up when she's crying. So at dawn when she was crying, I tried to get down from the bed. And then I slipped, my legs slipped. So I felt like a tear in the wound. So from that moment, I got angry. I was like, me if I'll cry. Because I was in pain. I'm like, I won't carry you, you can't cry. Till the next morning when they came, I told them, it's like I had a tear. I feel very painful there. So they checked and they were like, it will heal. Since it's a new wound and it will heal together, so I shouldn't worry. Yeah, so I stayed in the hospital for like 4 days. Yeah, we went on Thursday. But before that, the pediatric has to come and check on her. And then when she came and checked, she said she had baby jaundice. So we have to go under the blue light for a while. So we did, and then we were discharged, and then we went home. Yes, I did. Actually, I had fears throughout the pregnancy because like thyroid, when I read about thyroid and baby, like pregnancy, is either your baby can be an autistic dwarf. Yeah, she can be autistic, she can have this dwarfism, a whole lot. So throughout pregnancy, I cried. I was always crying. So the day, and I had been told that by a pastor that I'll go through CS. And someone also dreamt about me, and she said I should pray about my pregnancy so that I'll deliver like a Hebrew woman. So when I was told I was going to go through CS, I was like, God, I prayed about this and it's still happening. I cried. Yeah, I cried. I think and the fear was that because I've been told that after CS you won't be strong as you used to, or you can't carry heavy, you can't lift heavy weights and other things. So I had all in mind, like, and I won't get my body back. That was one thing that really put me off about CS. But since that was the only option to see my baby, and my mom was like, "What breast out?" I said, "And then come up." I said, "I did wake it now when you're open. What breast out? Kalani wana." So I was like, "Okay, let me just go ahead and do it." I'm not. Okay. So for me personally, I don't really believe in those things. I'm not someone that believes in someone is doing this to you and it will happen, or some spiritually we've said this so it's going to happen. No. I believe there is God. I believe if you say anything to him, he has the final say about our lives. So it wasn't like I took it. And one other thing is that it's said that he reveals to redeem. So if he has seen it and we've prayed about it, I know it's like God wants us to know and pray about it. That's why he revealed it to him. So I'm not really into those spiritual things. And then your baby will get, if you expose your tummy and those things. No, I don't believe in that. Yeah. I had help. My mom was around. Yeah, she's been around because when I was pregnant, my mom lived somewhere and we also lived. But most of the time, because my husband was always at work, she was the one that if anything, she'd be the one to. So the day I had the baby, she was there. She went to bring her things to my house. So moving from the hospital to the house, I knew I had my mom available. And then my husband too was there to help. My mom was basically doing most of the things in the house for me. Yeah, until I was ready to go back to school because I was in school. So when we opened school and I had to go back, and that time too, my sister, the one after me, was also pregnant and had given birth. She gave birth 2 weeks before I did. So my mom had stayed for some time and I told her she should go and take care of my sister as well. So when I was about to go to school, we looked for I told my mom to give me her house help to come and stay with us. So in the afternoon, I used to go to school in the evening. My classes were evening. So in the evening when I'm going to school, I'll take the help and the baby. Because Gimpa had a baby room where you can keep the baby till you close from class. So I'll keep them there. During the break hours, I'll go and feed her and then come back. So yes, I had help. One of the toughest things I've done, because I had started school in September, I got married in December, and then March, I was pregnant. And then I had to go to school. I think March, when I got pregnant, my early days, we were about to write exams. And I couldn't sit, I couldn't do anything, so I was really worried. I'm like, God, will I be able to write these exams? So one thing I told myself is that I stopped working too because I couldn't combine all the three. So I told myself what I'll do is that in the morning when I wake up, around 12, I'll leave the house, go to the library, go and stay in the library till it's 4 p.m. and I'll go to class. So that was what I was doing through school. Sometimes I'll go all the way to school and by the time I get to school, I'm really sick, I'm vomiting, so I have to go back home. I won't go for class. Yeah, so that was what I was doing. And then other times too, there was this other friend who was also pregnant. They lived on Legon campus. Yeah, so I'll go to them. It was closer to Gempa from where I lived. So I'll go to them in the morning, stay there till it's about 3:30, then I'll go to class. Up until my third trimester. That one I was very heavy and I had to do school, so it was library. Everyone who knew me on campus knew this pregnant lady is always in library. I'll go to library, then I sit, learn, sleep on the table, and then I'll come out and take a little walk, buy water or something, and then come back to the library until my classes always starts, and then I'll go to class. When I close from class, I had one friend who would drive me all the way to the gate to meet my husband because they were not allowing cars come up. So he would drive me to the gate, and then I'll meet my husband, and then we come home. Yeah, so my friends, my mates in Kempa were really helpful when I was pregnant. The lectures, I don't know if it's a school policy, but if you are pregnant, they give you maximum attention, and then they give you some grades, like they give you a point. So all lectures, I had that point with them. So it's just add your push and then pass. Yeah, that was it. So I wasn't really disturbed about if I don't pass. But the thing is, I didn't want to have the baby whilst I was writing exams. That means I would have to defer. That was the only thing I prayed about. So I told all my lecturers, this is it. My due date is within the exams time. So please, if in case I deliver before or during the exams time, just bring me the paper at the hospital. I'll write. Yeah. But I don't want to defer the course. Our first immunization was in the hospital before we went home. Yeah. And then I think we came back maybe 2 days for another shot. Yeah. And then when we went home, I had to come back to the hospital because I think one week after the delivery, I had an infection. I don't know what happened, but when I lie on my left, something moved from my left to my right in my tummy. When I lie on the right, it moves to the right. So I had to come back to the hospital. And I was told I had my womb wasn't shrinking back to its normal position and it's been infected and all. Yeah. So I had to stay in the hospital for like another 5 days. And then I came back home. And then we went back for the 6 weeks injection. I had been told by my mom that it's very painful. So when I was going, I took the paracetamol along. So the nurses told me before the shots, give it to her, and then after the shots, you give it to her. So that's what I did. She cried for a few minutes and then she stopped. I felt she would run temperature when we get home, but she was fine. Yeah, I think that was what happened. She didn't really, she cried for a few minutes and then she would stop. Yeah, I think the one in the thigh, that was a painful one. That was very painful, yeah, because she cried. For that one, she cried, yeah. Like she was a foodie from on like the scratch. She liked food. So when we came home, we were doing formula and breast milk. I realized she didn't like some of the formulas we were giving her. She didn't like naan. She didn't like Aptamil. I think she did SMA and then lactogen. Yeah, that was what she liked, yeah. So what we did was, that was what we were doing. But she didn't really like, she wanted food. She wanted more food. Because I could sit and she would be on my breast for like an hour, and when you put her down, she would cry. When you give her milk, she would cry. So my mom was like, "Yamani cocoa, or better." I was like, "No, I won't give her cocoa." So my mom was like, "Uko school, so I started school, and yamani cocoa, akaka like even liked." I said, "Okay." So we tried and she liked it. We added the formula and she liked it. So since then, we do, I think in the morning, I'll give her breast milk. Then around 10, we'll give her the porridge and with the formula. And then, so we're doing it in between 2 hours, yeah. Until she was like 6 months, then I started giving her Weetabix. I gave her Weetabix, I gave her Cerelac, I gave her anything you give her, she'll eat. We started the potato and the carrots, we blend it, she'll eat. Then my mom said we should do banku and TZ. Yeah. If it's soft, she'll swallow. The only thing I had problem with was rice. She couldn't eat the rice. She loved kinky, so we'll give it to her and then she will nibble on it. And then spoon. I think she just, when she saw us sitting with spoon, she also, but what she does is she'll pull she'll push the food onto the spoon before she puts it in her mouth because she couldn't carry the food with the spoon. But I just said, yeah, I think she got to know how to eat with a spoon herself and other things. Feeding her wasn't a problem until now. She likes food. When she likes it, she'll eat it. When she doesn't like it, she won't eat it. When she was growing up, I realized she used to like orange. Then she shifted to banana, and now her favorite is avocado. So I know she likes avocado, so anytime I go to the market and I see, I buy it for her. And apples. Yeah. For school, I think the only thing I looked out for was a proper care and a Christian school. Because I didn't want somewhere that she won't be taught the Christian values. So we tried, where we used to live at East Legon. So I was looking around schools in the vicinity so that it would be close to me. I wouldn't have to go far distance and other things. Yeah. So we tried some few schools somewhere like we should come and register, and if there was space, then they would call us, and then we moved from East Legon. So when we moved, we went to where I'm living now. And then the schools around wasn't what I wanted. So we found one, we went there, and I think I liked the place. They were 10 in the classroom and they were well taken care of. Yeah. So we just started, and when she started, she could speak, she can speak fluently, she can express herself. Yeah, so I think that's how we got to school. I wasn't really fussy about what, but I mean, I wanted where they would take good care of her, and then where they would teach her Christian values. Yeah, I think she started sitting, well, when she was like 3, getting to 4 months, she could sit. When you put the pillows around her, she could sit, yeah. But from 5, she could sit properly. Then she started crawling. She walked when she was 8, yeah. So she started crawling early. But walking, she didn't want me to see she was walking. So I used to have these girls in my house who would come for her, and then they tell me, hey, wanantio. I'm like, wanante mami. So one time they had come to my place, and then they were with her, and then she started walking, and they told me I should come and see. I was in the kitchen, so they told me I should come and see. So she was walking, they were coming towards the kitchen, and she was coming to them. I'm like, hey, so one antenna busy. So yes, she started working when she was 8. She started feeding early too. I don't really keep the date, but she met it early. She met her milestones early. Yeah. Taking care of, like, waking up every day to know you have a responsibility. It's not, I won't say it's challenging, because you are learning. Yeah. I have help. I have my mom still around. Though she doesn't live with me anymore, she comes around. My husband is around. I won't say they've been challenging. Maybe my not getting enough sleep. Not getting enough sleep. She's not, like, she doesn't really fall sick, so I would say I've had to. I think when she got chicken pox, that was when, yeah, I fret, because I didn't know how to go about it. a baby with a chicken pox. But I think I'm not really having any, apart from my sleep, not getting enough sleep. And I think when I had her, I had depression. Yeah, I had depression when we came home from the hospital, because I had gone through a lot during pregnancy, and then I felt okay, now you're out, so I should be okay. And then it wasn't that way. I felt, and when I said it, my mom was like, hey, so I'm like, you people don't understand me. I'm really going crazy in my mind. So yeah, when he came home, she'll breastfeed. She won't sleep. She doesn't sleep. 30 minutes intervals, so she'll sleep. And she wants, even if she's not sucking the breast, she just wants to be on me. So I have to sit, and I had pains in my back. I had pains in my wounds. I had sore on the nipple. At a point in time, like, I'll throw this baby on the bed. And I couldn't have enough sleep. I felt sleepy. I was in school as well. So it's like when I come home in the morning, I have to be going through class and like library to class, come back home, and then she's not also giving me the opportunity to sleep. She doesn't sleep for a long time. I really felt I'm going crazy. Yeah, I think that was the only challenging times I had. But she's one baby that goes to everybody if she gets close to you. Yeah, so I didn't really have any problem with her. It was pregnancy. So, the fact that when I go to the house, when I go out and I come back and she come and meet me and say, Mommy, where did you go? I'm like, oh God, I have somebody who cares so much about me. And then she's one person, she's really careful how she relates to everybody. For me and the dad, she wants to do anything to make us. She'll come to me and tell me, Mommy, I think you are tired. You need to relax. Mommy, you are the best mommy in the whole world. Mommy, you are my best mommy ever. Like when she says that, I'm like, oh, okay. I have somebody who really appreciates me. And the fact that she calls me Mommy. Yeah. She calls people grandma. She knows how to call grandma, but she doesn't call anybody Mommy apart from me. Yes, so it's fulfilling. The fact that I know I'm raising a beautiful baby is fulfilling. Yeah. One thing that I want to talk about is like thyroidism. Yeah. People are walking about and they are telling mothers, or they are going about looking for babies. Like you think you are barren, or you think you are not fertile. You may be fertile, but maybe you have thyroid issues. Because I realized my irregular menstrual cycle was due to the thyroid I had. Yeah. When I went to the hospital and I was told that I had the thyroid, I came back to read and I realized, oh, so this could cause a lot of problems. Women are walking about, going anywhere and everywhere possible to look for, but maybe they've not checked their thyroid. So please, if you think, just go to the hospital. Tell them you want to do a thyroid functioning test to see if your thyroid is really working. Because it was something that if I didn't see it, I would have been going about looking for a child, and it was just that thing that was causing it. Yes. And then another thing I experienced when I was pregnant was hematuria, bleeding in pregnancy. I didn't know how that came about, but it was something that I felt it could happen to anybody, because I personally didn't know what brought it about. Yeah, it was something that could happen to anybody, and I didn't know how serious it was because I peed and it was red. Yeah, and then I traveled out. When I came back, I peed and it was red. I'm like, okay, maybe it's stress. And then I had to do kidney tests and other things. And I realized it was that hematuria, bleeding in pregnancy, which I didn't know anything about. But it made me know that, okay, so as a pregnant woman, you need to be constantly checking yourself. You need to get to know at any point in time, you should know what is happening to you, what is happening to your baby, what you are going through. If you need to read a lot. Read a lot. Don't mind me, my doctors told me I'm a Google mom. What did your Google doctor say? But I didn't let that bother me. I asked a lot of questions when I go to the antenatal. When I get a chance to go around my doctor friends or family, I would ask a lot of questions. I knew some would say I was a bother, but I don't care because I wanted to know what was going on. Yeah, I think that is it.
This video was brought to you by Anuwa Mother Care. Great stuff for great kids.